Sports Power Hour minus 25-ish, 24 minutes or so. Football analyst Bryce Martino, Iestyn Harris. First thing I wanted to do off the jump, Bryce, you were in, I don't want to call it controversy, but you made a comment today on your immensely popular Instagram page, and people are questioning your ability to read what is a, quote, moss or not. So
Yeah,
would you like to talk about that now just quickly?
I mean, he caught it over the defender, so which is usually a moss, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Do you have anything to say to the haters? Which I don't know why you have haters. You run a pretty great page.
no, I've always had haters, so it's nothing new.
All right. I tried to help you out, but it was so many of them. Like,
Some of the comments were hilarious, though.
yeah.
I mean, I hadn't seen it,
just
so I
started
just
messing
pulled it
with
up. Ooh. Yeah, that's kind of brutal.
The one when the guy was like, if that's a moss and I'm a girl, I was like, what's that even mean, man? And I don't know.
I didn't even know how to respond to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, week 7's over, because I don't want to pay the NFL more money than I have to. I don't have Red Zone or anything. So I watched 3 games today. I watched the Jets get spanked. I watched the Bears get spanked. And then I watched the tsunami in San Francisco. You two had the pleasure of watching other games that were probably more competitive. So, Iestyn, whatever game you want to talk about first, take us away.
Okay, so there's a couple elephants in the room, and I'm going to just talk about probably the most surprising and devastating upset. We watched one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in a long time just get absolutely demolished. And I have so much sympathy for Sam Darnold's Panthers. I mean, they just fell to shreds against the Giants, And I just, I'm so disappointed because I do really love watching the Panthers right now, and they just fell apart. There's no reason they should have lost this game. The Giants were wheeled into that stadium on a gurney, and then they were taken promptly back out in a hearse, and somehow they won a football game in the middle. And I don't get it. Danny Dimes not only throws dimes, he catches them too. And I'm shocked. They were, in my opinion, the far worst team on paper. And so, why on earth did that go horribly wrong? I don't know, but it cost me like $200. I was this close to a
John
parlay.
Ross and Darius Slayton were their starting receivers, and they somehow pulled it off.
Yeah, they somehow pulled it off against.
Insane.
Also, the Panthers have one of the. I know they don't look like it, but statistically speaking, the Panthers have one of the best secondaries in the NFL, which is shocking.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're also massively
Stephon Gilmore playing.
Yeah, I mean, add Stephon Gilmore. I think J.C. Horn needs to come back from injury too. Yeah, and then Henderson's going to be cornerback number 3, and that's a terrifying secondary. But even with those guys gone, they're still one of the better units in the league, and I don't understand how they got picked apart by Daniel Jones. I'm just kind of stunned at it, and I don't know. I don't know how to react any more than that. I just don't understand how the Panthers just didn't. They just did not.
And how about
they didn't show up today?
What about Devontae Booker turning back the clock to San Diego State a little bit?
I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. Evidently, he's a pro back. But is the Giants' offensive line actually good? Is it?
No, it's not.
No, it isn't. I mean, if they can't do Saquon Barkley any favors, why is Booker all of a sudden streaking towards the end zone? If they
it's
can't
just
keep...
yeah. It's just the off some random luck these running backs get once every 3 or 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You see it every year. Then they get paid a lot of money and just do nothing.
Mm. Yeah, you always just standing there in the offseason looking at every running back you've signed to your roster and hoping one of them is a boom and hoping none of them are that big contract bust, because there's nothing worse than having an expensive, underperforming, unsuccessful running back on the roster.
You mean like the Jets still paying Le'Veon Bell even though he's on the Ravens?
On his second team since the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't he on that practice team as well? Like, he got called up this week, I know, but like, is he still on that practice team right now?
No, he's 53-man roster.
So he's permanently on the 53 now?
Yeah, you know, catching touchdowns and whatnot. I wouldn't know what that was like from him. Hadn't seen it in a
touches
while.
over Tyson Williams.
How many did he get with the Jets?
Probably like 3. I don't know.
3 total touchdowns. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Right,
sorry,
Bryce,
4. He had a receiving touchdown as well.
what was your favorite game, Martino?
You know, I gotta go with the Bengals and Ravens. I don't feel like a lot of people picked the Bengals to win this game, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase just came out and obliterated that defense. Chase had that 80-yard bomb, which gave him 8 receptions for 201 yards and TD against one of the league's better defenses. Then Burrow had 3 touchdowns, 416 yards. CJ Uzuma had a great game too. Like, everyone was just clicking for the Bengals offense today.
Evan McPherson
Seems
also.
like, yeah, I mean, we won't get into that though.
We always could. I mean, people should know his name by now. He's not just Bengals kicker, but continue. I'm sorry.
Hang on, wait, was he like a 5th, 6th, 7th round rookie?
Yeah.
I
The
think he was the only,
or only kicker drafted, not only rookie. Though.
He's easily the best 6th round pick of all time. I can't think of a single player better.
It stinks that Jamar Chase is on his team, or else like he would definitely win Roy. But sorry, Bryce. Continue again.
Is there a special teams rookie of the year award?
No, he was going to win like the real one. He's so good, and he's just like Bengals kicker, which makes me so mad. But okay, Bryce, for real though.
0 offensive team snaps, but sure.
I'll let you finish.
No, I mean, that's really all I had to say. Lamar didn't look like himself today, except for that somehow dime to Marquise Brown in the end zone. But
yeah,
I mean, you didn't really see the Ravens' full potential today, like you were seeing against Indy and some other teams this year.
He just didn't do what you expected from him this week.
From an MVP.
I mean, yeah, he's an MVP as a quarterback. He's supposed to do a lot better than that. He was, he got decent yardage. I think 250 something on the day.
257 in TD with 88 rushing yards.
I mean, like, it's still a good game per se, but it's under 50% completion, and when you don't have the option to run anymore, when the Bengals start peeling away from them in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter there, they just couldn't get it going in the passing game consistently enough to get those first downs and march down the field and actually put some points on the board. Not even a field goal to try and keep it close. They just
had a QBR of 46, which that's terrible.
That is subpar. Yeah.
Not bad for a running back though.
I feel like you can't
bad for a receiver.
You can't talk about it. Hang on, no. The best wide receiver out of that class is Josh Allen. We know it. Come on.
Of course you didn't think that.
Well, yeah, I think he's got like an 88% catch rate or something. Come on, put some respect.
Couple touchdowns.
Yeah,
when you're like
2-point conversion.
Exactly. When you're like 6 foot, $2.5 million, you should catch everything that comes your way.
Okay, but like, how many wide receivers are 6 foot, $2.5 million and don't catch anything? Kelvin Benjamin.
He went to college in Wyoming. He's probably pretty good with like catching stuff. He probably was like running around cattle for a frat or something.
That's exactly what they do in Wyoming.
I imagine they just like herd loose cattle and go to church and bars. Anyways, what was more surprising, the Bucs beating the Bears by 35 or the Falcons going to Miami, who had to play after their London game, which was stupid and poor planning, and the Falcons going into Miami and getting the win.
See, I think that was kind of the expected result. I had Falcons by 3, Falcons win by 2. I think the fact that Tua was able to engineer a late comeback drive was the biggest surprise to me. I mean, I don't have anything against Tua. I think he's still got, everything he needs to succeed in the NFL. He just might need more time, and then we'll have to see. But I think that he this game was awful for Miami for a lot of reasons, because it proved that they have a lot more problems on this roster than just the quarterback. And a lot of people thought last season that they were, a consistent mid-level quarterback away from being like a high-tier playoff team. Instead, they were a fringe playoff team with inconsistent QB playing, the swapping out of one quarterback for another whenever they happen to feel like it. And now Miami is 1-5. And they just don't look
1-6, yeah.
1-6. Sorry,
it's
worse. They just don't look like the kind of team that should be in the playoffs. I mean, their secondary got torched by Matt Ryan, and they're not getting consistent pressure. They can't stop a run, and their offense isn't going to win in a shootout. So what are they really expecting out of this season?
I mean, my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
No, I was just saying, my thing with that is Tua, if you look at his stats, 291 yards, 4 TDs, like that's great if you are just watching stats, but he put that offense and that team in some pretty bad situations where he had to pass for it late in the game to actually catch up to Atlanta. So, I mean, the stats might be a little misleading for them.
Yeah, and it says 2 interceptions on the stat sheet, but those 2 interceptions were extremely costly.
Those were terrible, yeah.
And they were bad picks. They weren't. Yeah, it wasn't like 50-50 jump ball, DB makes a great play. It was like, okay, cool, you threw it into quadruple coverage, but the man you're throwing to isn't even there. You just threw it into an empty space with 4 men, assuming with that. Well, there's 4 defenders. I probably have a guy there. And
somewhere down there.
Yeah, those hopeful miracle heaves are the kind of thing you do on 4th down and long, because you have literally no choice but to get the ball somewhere and hope someone makes a play. That's the only time I would excuse a throw like that, and even then, it was a particularly bad one.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
No, I was just saying, I think this is the game that we were all waiting for from Kyle Pitts too.
Yeah.
We saw some flashes of it earlier in the season, but this is what we all waited for. 7 receptions, 163 yards, just absolutely torched the Dolphins secondary. So
yeah, it was just kind of, I mean, he had a great game 2 weeks ago before the bye week in London against the Jets. And that was sort of his breakout. He got 120 or so yards and a touchdown. But this game was just that game, but more efficient. I mean, he's 7 catches, 163 yards. That's like a 23-24 yard average per catch. As a tight end.
23.3.
How many great tight ends average on their career, 5-6 yards a reception and a lot of block, Like there are guys in the Hall of Fame at the tight end position who are all block, no ruck type of tight ends. And here's Kyle Pitts doing this in his rookie season. He's I have a feeling he's going to be like the Jamal Adams of being a tight end, in that, he's damn good at some things, but he doesn't really do what tight ends do. Like Jamal Adams is
more of a
athlete, and he does some brilliant things, but he doesn't do he's not really a safety. Kyle Pitts is like a huge receiver who might be able to block as well. I want to see more blocking from him, just because I feel like having a tight end who can block is crucial to the position. But, I mean, they could always bump him out wide anytime they need someone out there. He's equal to a wide receiver in terms of a downfield threat.
He's a very tall wide receiver with, almost no blocking skills, I think.
Yeah, I'm encouraged to see, what he can do with a little growth. But for the most part, he is already that receiving threat. If they could just get him to be a mediocre blocker at the position, he could be a top tier tight end in a year's time.
I wonder if he
consistently
pushes Hayden Hurst out of Atlanta by the trade deadline.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Atlanta, I think at this point are aware that they're not competing for a chip this season. They are 3-3, so it's unlikely. They could. Obviously they're better than a lot of teams in the NFL right now, but they're not expected to do much. And
Right.
I'm not a give up on the season 7 weeks in kind of guy. But at the same time, you need to be reasonable with yourself when you're running a franchise. Do you want it to succeed long term? I mean, admittedly, if they had cool heads who were willing to have that patience and get Atlanta to succeed long term, they probably wouldn't have drafted Pitts. They probably would have got rid of Matt Ryan, moved on to a rookie QB, and started the rebuild. But I respect getting the best playmaker available.
I'd hang on to Matt Ryan for another year or so because I don't think this year's the year you take a quarterback this class.
No. Yeah, they might still be needing Matt Ryan in 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, do
go
you just
one
bring...
more year? No, I was just saying go one more year with Ryan. Wait till following year's class.
Kind of do what Kansas City was able to do for Mahomes, which is, make sure they got a good quality veteran quarterback under center. Build up a successful team around him and bring in a young guy to sit for half the season, maybe more, behind Matt Ryan in 2023, and then maybe you've got a franchise. Maybe you can build an offense for the new guy and like push him into it gently, and then let him blow up when it's time. And I'm excited to see that if that's what they do. But right now, I think that the best thing they could do is bleed Hurst, get like a 4th round pick, and make the most of take advantage of the pieces they can sell high right now.
Right.
Yeah, maybe get Brock Purdy in the black and red next year. I just wanted to bring up him. How about the Oakland Raiders, 5-2, amidst all of it, still winning games somehow?
I mean, yeah, they really blew the doors off. Too. Yeah, consistently. I mean, John Gruden had this really well schemed defense. I mean, it is the best schemed defense I've seen in a long time. There's not a ton of actual, star power coming at you. They don't roll out onto the field and it's like, oh yes, 7 future Hall of Famers all right here. It's just a bunch of guys who are pretty good at their positions, doing it right every time, and that's why they've been succeeding. But with Gruden gone, I had a lot of concern that wasn't going to hold up the same way, and evidently I was wrong. They do a great job, and that offense, even I feel like it's kind of like when they took a Megatron away from Stafford when Waller had to be benched. Had to be he was inactive this week because of an injury. I mean, Derek Carr, when he's distributing the multiple targets, looks better. I mean, obviously Waller's a huge asset, but does he cap Derek Carr? Does he sort of, if he's firing it to him in triple coverage and he's missing men who are open, then is having him not out there every play a good thing?
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr used 9 different receivers today, with Foster Moreau being their leading receiver with 6 for 16 touchdown.
Yeah, so I mean, if he's able to distribute the ball that well when he doesn't have his favorite target, then
I think it opens offense more than what it would usually.
Yeah, exactly what happened with Megatron and Stafford, but now. With the problem with that team in Detroit was that they couldn't keep it all together. They were missing just too many pieces. Yes, Stafford was able to get it to those receivers, but those receivers were, bottom tier guys on a lot of other NFL teams. And now they're, he made it work because he's a talented quarterback, but they need, if they have a decent amount of talent around him, guys like Renfro and I hate to say Zay Jones, he's been pretty good for them. He's not wide receiver 2 or 3, but as a rotational piece, he does the job. I think that they've got a lot of potential, and they're clearly disciplined, which is strange to say from the team out of Oakland. But they're perfectly ready to go toe to toe with most teams in the NFL right now, maybe even all of them. But I do have concerns about the lack of having the guy who makes it happen for you. the lack of star power being a problem when they make it to the playoffs, because I do expect them to make the playoffs at this point.
I have 5 wins going into week 8. You should make the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say
This
so.
is the Raiders, though. If any team you'd be hesitant to feel that way, it's definitely Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah,
that's true.
I do kind of respect that.
Speaking of hesitations, besides the local Detroit Starbucks, I feel like this is the most supportive Dan Campbell group. Like, if you're the general manager of that Starbucks and he's spending like $16 a day on whatever he buys, you gotta love the guy and hope he's there forever. I don't know. We as a collective group, especially the 3 of us here, I feel like we're all pretty big DC supporters, and Tovo would tell us, he worked for Sean Payton. Like, we don't tell us every time we talk about Dan Campbell. He didn't do it. Entertained the hell out of us, though. Had us there in the first half, for sure.
That Lions team looked good still.
Yeah, I thought they were. I thought that I said this just before after the first couple of crazy, insane play calls, that the only other coach in the NFL who I would have thought would even try and make those kind of calls happen was standing on the other sideline. I mean, the only other guy who's going to do that who isn't Dan Campbell is Sean McVay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Jared Goff is holding that offense back, though.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah, he's not making throws he needs to, and he's not, poised under the pocket anymore.
No.
He's not the Super Bowl quarterback he once was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's it's because I think that if Goff wasn't the guy, then they would have absolutely won that Super Bowl down in Atlanta against the Pats, because it was a defensive battle just because the offenses couldn't go, not because the defenses were absolutely great, but they're a different quarterback on either one of those teams in that game, because Brady was absolutely not good that day. Would have absolutely made the difference, but. Now here we are, you see Goff with the worst weapons around him, and he's clearly much less effective. It's the proof that the team around him helped make him into a successful quarterback, who I think went to a Pro Bowl, right? I think he's got a Pro Bowl down in LA.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Now they've got Stafford, who's evidently better at making that offense work, better at everything. Yeah. And he made it work, and I just cannot stress how happy I am for a lot of those guys in LA who just needed the quarterback to get them to that next level and take them potentially to another Super Bowl. And I feel so happy for Stafford, who's finally got a great support system around him. But we'll see how these two teams work out. But I cannot. After what was a really disappointing day of NFL games, I am thrilled to say that I got to watch that Rams-Lions one.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Detroit, DeAndre Swift might not have been as productive in the run game like we all hoped he would, but he still dominated in the receiving. 8 receptions, 96 yards, and touchdown with 12-yard average. I mean, that's pretty successful.
That's extremely good for a running back.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
I was saying that wasn't even he wasn't even leading receiver. Cleve Raymond had 6 for 115 against the Rams secondary of all people.
Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, and their linebacker core are great in coverage as well. I mean, they got so much to going for them on that Rams defense that I'm shocked a team like the Lions, considering what we've seen from them all season, was able to put up 19 points. But I mean, it is testament that coaching isn't everything, because even though they got every single one of those ballsy calls they went for, 2 fake punts, an onside kick, like right at the very beginning of the game, and they succeeded on all of that and still lost by 2 scores, because the Rams are just that good and the Lions just don't have that offense. It just isn't there.
They still have the people to produce, but I think they still need a few more pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have to start with quarterback too.
I mean, yeah, it was clear. Goff, them taking Goff wasn't that they wanted Goff so much or that they wanted to get rid of Stafford so much. It was more that it was the cost of getting those draft picks.
Yeah, they wanted.
They knew what they had.
The money. Yeah, it was taking on that ugly contract.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting with Jared Goff, but I think you make that sacrifice as a rebuilding team for, what was it, 2 first-round picks and a third?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now take it, rebuild your trenches, and next year get a quarterback. If you don't like anyone here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barring,
I mean, it's the best thing you can do.
Barring a trip to the concussion injured list, are the Chiefs going to trade Patrick Mahomes? Maybe start the rebuild? I'm just kidding, but that was
a terrible outing.
That was your game of the week, right, Bryce? On Tuesday?
I think so, because everyone else took my game of the week, so I had to pick that garbage of a game.
You went first. You were like, it's obviously Chiefs Titans.
Well, I mean,
did you expect him to say Rams Lions? Was anyone thinking Rams Lions was going to be
Bengals Ravens?
I had to pick Bengals Ravens because Tolfa picked. I think he picked Saints Seahawks because everybody's coming back.
I mean, Texans Cardinals 31-5. I mean, who else was there?
Yeah, really.
Who else was there to take for a game of the week?
I think game of the week this week was less game of the week and more,
There's games this week.
I guess I'll watch it. Yeah, there's games this week, I guess. This is probably the worst week of the NFL season. And,
it's barring like college football last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it feels like these games, some of them mattered, of course. But a lot of them were just so
they aren't thrilling with the top teams in the league.
Yeah, like the best team in the league and then the worst team in the league go head-to-head, and the best team in the league blows out the worst team in the league, and everyone stopped watching by halftime. Great. 2 great teams go to head-to-head, but instead of the thrilling matchup we wanted, one team plays really well, one team has the worst game they've ever had, and everyone was disappointed and bored by halftime, right?
And Derrick Henry has more touchdowns than the, $500 million man?
I mean, yeah. It's
He has 9 interceptions, which leads league, too.
Hey, speaking of which, first game in Zach Wilson's career without an interception.
That's because he attempted 2 passes before he got clocked.
10. He was 60%.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He completed 6 passes before he got hurt. Yes, they were rolling. It wasn't necessarily forwards, but they were
going to come in for a quick tutty.
Yeah. Well, so he threw up a prayer and someone got hit for a PI call. That's not them rolling.
Speaking of prayers, why does Corey Davis like it when Mike White throws the ball, but not Zach Wilson? That's what I want to know.
What's Corey Davis got? Like 2 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, but he did drop the ball once today. I guess he wanted the USF guy in there.
Well,
QB1.
So hang on, let's check White's experience here.
He doesn't have any playing time in the league.
Yeah,
no. I mean, why would he? If he's back up to Zach, that's rude. If he's a backup on the Jets,
suddenly Josh Allen becomes a top 3 quarterback, and you get all critical of the other 31.
Hey, are you how many years of hell I went through to get here?
I think we know that quarterback when we see
we
one.
are.
But
we've played the Jets every year for years.
Like the people in the neighborhood I grew up in, if you were in a part of their association, they wouldn't even look at you like you were some caged animal or something. God forbid the Mormon succeeds in our NFL.
I think the Jets kind of did dirty by Zach Wilson too, not getting an experienced quarterback in there from day one.
By the New York Jets.
But that's for another day. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Jets ruining Zach Wilson right now.
Yeah, I mean, same, different head coach, a couple of front office changes, a different roster.
But it's still the same Jets.
Yeah, which feels really rude, but we've had so much consistent evidence that regime changes don't breed success in New York.
And now Joe Douglas is on a hot seat, according to all of Jets Twitter.
I think that Douglas should be on the hot seat, personally. I think that Robert Saleh was a great hire, but I think that Douglas consistently makes bad moves.
okay, I
you
will
can't be
say,
bad when there's 20,000 people in America, coaches and managers in American football, at various stages all across the world, who are all gunning for that man's job, and he's sitting there going, yeah, this is a great idea. I'm going to build this roster, but I'm going to get really mediocre players. I'm going to pay them a bunch of money. Like I could sign mediocre players for a lot of money.
with the exception of Jack Stallo, Jet Life News, who he's so hard to contact. I want him on here so badly. And Blake NY Jets, I think Blake Ballnar or something. Sorry, Blake. The rest of the Jets' Twitter and Instagram is a bunch of idiots. Half of them have like mob ties. The other half can't wait until it's like spaghetti night. It's just a collective group of buffoons and people that can't comprehend like losing games to the Patriots on the road with a rookie quarterback. And it's just ridiculous. It's such an reasonable group of people.
So, it's not just losing to the Patriots on the road with a rookie quarterback. It's losing to the Patriots on the road with a rookie quarterback to a rookie quarterback by 41 points.
Yeah, but, the dink and dunk messiah is, the second coming of Brady, obviously.
Oh,
so.
I agree that Mac Jones, he does nothing and gets tons of credit. He's in the lowest responsibility offense in the NFL right now.
And this
that's,
whole
I'm talking even less responsibility than Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I said that. It's unjustifiable the amount of credit he gets for the.
And this whole Patriots 2 I guess now they're what? 2-4?
3. They got 3 wins, 2 against the Jets and 1 against Texans.
Yeah, okay, 3-4. But before this, they were 2-4, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Patriots are winning." What? They just dominated everybody for 20 years. Now we're gonna give them these sympathy wins? No. All right, let's talk about grown ass men dropping their nuts on the table.
All right. So, I'm ready. I'm ready for mine. The best game of the week the best unexpected game of the week for me, obviously Lions Rams here. They really pulled that out. It features my drop your nuts on the table player of the week for I think the second time now. I'm going Cooper Kupp. Kupp's got it, guys. He's got a QB who thinks he's a wide receiver 1, and that makes him a wide receiver 1. And the dude is just killing NFL defenses right now. And this week was no different. The Lions may be many things. They may be incompetent. They may be terrible. They may be just downright criminal to watch. I don't have a point. Cooper Kupp was better than them. He was way better than them this year. In this game, he just put it all out there yet again. He makes the crazy catches. He makes the easy ones. He finds ways to manipulate defenders and move past them. And even when he doesn't catch the ball, the man knows how to stay healthy. You see that spin move he pulled out? He looked like prime Michael Jackson out there. Just brilliant. I loved it. I'm so proud. I've been on the Kupp train for years, and now it's finally got passengers.
All right, I'll go next. I gotta go with AJ Brown here. He's been quiet the whole year, and now the game everyone's been waiting for from one of the best receivers in the league right now. He had 8 for 133 and touchdown against, I know it was terrible Chiefs defense, but still, I think this is a game you need for AJ Brown to get some momentum going into next few weeks.
Yeah, he has been incredible. Both this season as a whole, but especially this week. The dude's just. I think that having Julio Jones didn't make Julio Jones isn't the guy here. It's become evident now. AJ Brown's beating him out, and he looks like he deserves to beat him out. It's not just AJ. It's not just Julio drawing double teams. The man is quite clearly the better wide receiver on the field.
Damn it, Bryce. You took mine. I had a whole thing about how A.J. Brown's just been blowing chunks for days. He's never going back to Chipotle. And then I let you go second and you take my guy. So sorry, Joe Burrow. I guess you get a participation,
Should have won Jamar Chase then.
DYNOTTPOTW. See, that was pretty good. I didn't even think of it, and I just rattled off like 9 letters in a row. That's what I get for losing the 5th grade spelling bee. But yeah, Joe Burrow, I mean, what an incredible game. Who cares about that interception? On the road, Bengals have the best uniforms in the NFL, I think. I mean, you could just give it to like the entire Cincinnati Bengals offense. Like I could give it to Evan McPherson at 50.
You could give it to Azuma, man. I mean, like this game was insane.
Samaje Perine.
Perine was pretty good.
Yeah,
he didn't need the touches, but he made the most of them. Like wow, I'm consistently stunned by the Bengals this season, and I've openly not had faith in them this whole time. I've said no, it's fine. They'll turn back into a pumpkin at some point, but maybe they won't. Maybe they're the best team in the AFC North. Maybe they are. I mean, looking at the entire AFC North, they were my 4th place team going into this season. They're not now.
I want to leave with a question before Steven signs us off or whatever. But Matt Rule said all week that Sam Darnold was their quarterback, and said it after the game today in the post-game interview. But after he gets benched, do they start making calls and seriously get in trade offers for Deshaun Watson?
I'll never say anything bad about Sam Darnold. End of statement.
Okay, I actually do like Sam Darnold this season, but he's proven he's not going to be the long-term guy, even though they're going to owe him $18.9 million next season anyway. Big money. But I can't justify trading for Watson right now to any team, just because it's such a question mark. You can't give up picks for a guy who may never play again. It's too big of a risk.
Yeah, that's the end of our Arizona Sports Power Hour minus 20, 25, 23, however many minutes. I forgot to mention it in June. Shout out Shakur Stevenson, King of Newark, WBO, I don't know, lightweight champion, something or other. Sorry, King, I forgot. YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We'll be back on Tuesday. Tova will be here. Bryce will be here. I think Iestyn will be. Sportsway Fish.